Over 100,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine arrive in country, senators debating the resolution to extend the Bahamas state of emergency, and a woman in court for defrauding 3S Bakery. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tyler Simonet with your Jcn TV News for this Thursday, August 12th. Thanks for tuning in. The Pfizer vaccines have arrived in country today. That's over 100,000 doses of vaccines landed, which was a donation from the U.S. government. This morning, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis said in his remarks, the United States has again proven to be a good friend of the Bahamas with this generous vaccine donation. Here's Laurencia Smith with more.
One mission has been completed, and that's the government working to get the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine, which arrived in the Bahamas shortly after 9 this morning at the Jet Nassau. The largest single shipment of COVID-19 vaccines, 128,700 doses of Pfizer, a donation from the U.S. government, were received by Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, Minister of Health Renwood Wells, U.S. Chargé Affairs Usha Pitts, and other government and health officials. Dr. Minnis says the Bahamas now has the vaccines to meet the demand that exists.
Pfizer donation by the United States is the largest single vaccine donation we have received during this pandemic. It will enable us to significantly ramp up our vaccination program, and the full donation of nearly 400,000 doses will enable us to fully vaccinate half of our population with the Pfizer vaccine.
Based on the latest figures, over 111,000 doses of AstraZeneca vaccine have been administered. The competent authority continues to encourage Bahamians to get the jab as soon as possible, as it's a tool to help save lives and end the pandemic, even as hospitals are filled.
Fighting COVID-19 is a national team. Ladies and gentlemen, the infrastructure required for Pfizer has been met on New Providence and Grand Bahama, the two islands where the most population reside. We are an archipelagic nation of islands and keys, and we are grateful that all our islands and keys where people reside have the opportunity to be vaccinated with at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine.
As the Pfizer vaccines come through a donation from the U.S. with the assistance of the U.S. Embassy here in the capital, these 128,700 doses represent the first tranche of 397,000 doses that will be received from the U.S. U.S. Chargé Affairs Usha Pitts.
To this wonderful day where we are receiving the first batch of a delivery of nearly 400,000 Pfizer vaccines to the Bahamas. It's a terrific day. I hope you can see the excitement on my face, because what this really represents is it represents a way for us to really break the back of this pandemic. So these vaccines will buttress the vaccines that are already in the Bahamas, will provide enough for Bahamians to achieve herd immunity so we can finally get through this thing.
The administration of Pfizer will begin on Monday, August 16th. By the end of August, Bahamians will have 3 brands of vaccines to choose from: AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson. I'm Laurencia Smith for Jcn News.
The current state of emergency and subsequent emergency power orders were set to expire this coming Friday. However, as a result of a surge in cases, the competent authority sought approval of Parliament to extend the orders another 3 months. The House of Assembly debated and passed the resolution last evening. Leader of Government Business in the Senate, Attorney General Carl Bethel, began his contribution to the debate with the quote, "The eagle has landed," making reference to the more than 120,000 Pfizer vaccines that arrived in the country this morning. Senator Bethel says with the arrival of these vaccines, the Bahamas will have the capacity to reach herd immunity.
The Prime Minister has been relentless in his efforts, using every means at his disposal. And so today is a red letter day for the Bahamas, a red letter day for a Prime Minister committed to the debate. And so I say to my brothers and sisters throughout the length and breadth of the Bahamas, it's here, there's no excuse, it's your choice. But on my recommendation, choose wisely, choose the vaccine, choose life. With the advent of the vaccines, now we're looking at hundreds of thousands of doses, minimum of 200,000. We're supposed to get some Johnson & Johnson by virtue, and We now have the capacity to reach herd immunity in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas by virtue of vaccination.
Now, with these vaccines, Senator Bethel says there is no need for the full plenitude of the emergency orders.
Now is the time when a responsible government can take a step back and say that we do not need the full plenitude of powers. We do not need all of the extremely effective powers that an emergency declaration or proclamation gives. We can move to a system under the Constitution because with vaccinations, mass vaccinations, we have greater ability to manage problems as they may occur on a basis that is reasonably justifiable in a democratic society under the Constitution.
Senator Bethel notes that at the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic, the fight was with an unknown enemy, with unknown capacity, with only 1 or 2 cases at the time. With the Prime Minister tabling the Public Health Emergency Preparedness and Management Bill 2021 for consultation, Senator Bethel notes that because we were faced with the COVID-19 challenge with 3 waves, the Health Services Act passed in 1914 was unusable and did not allow for certain provisions. That said, he contends that the Public Health Emergency Preparedness and Management Bill was drafted to not only serve for the COVID-19 pandemic, but any future pandemic that may occur. Progressive Liberal Party Senator Dr. Michael Darville calling the laying of the Public Health Emergency Preparedness and Management Bill 2021 shameful in the upper chamber due to its timing. He says as much during his contribution to the debate to extend the state of emergency, blasting the extension of the emergency orders. He contends that other countries have been able to move away from these harsh restrictions in order to move forward in the pandemic.
This is sad because after 17 months, with this government's final hours of governance, the F&M administration now at this late stage seen it fit to lay the Public Health Emergency Preparedness and Management Bill 2021 for consultation, while asking the Parliament for another 3 months extension of the existing emergency orders. As far as we're concerned, this is shameful, because the government could have easily laid this bill for consultation prior to the last recess, and we could have come back here today to have a debate and passing of the amended version of this bill, incorporating ideas from the opposition, civil society, medical, religious, and the business community, rather than seeking another 3 months extension.
Dr. Darville adds that over the last year, legislation could have been passed that would have allowed the oversight of public health care measures to fight the pandemic. And it is now only on the eve of the general elections that legislation comes out for consultation.
After a year and a half, you're just now seeing it fit to consult the Bahamian people? I think this is a total neglect and disregard to the Bahamian people. And this F&M cabinet and the government should hang their head down in shame for allowing the competent authority to run us up on breaks like this. This F&M administration must also take full responsibility for the predicament we are in today. And the multiple failures we have witnessed during this pandemic must be placed squarely at their feet.
The senator also had this to say about the country's ongoing vaccination program.
Our ability to source vaccine has been abysmal. And thank God we have the United States who have come to our rescue. While I'm thrilled that we have finally sourced the vaccines, there's information that we need to move swiftly because to date, 12 to 13% of our population has been vaccinated. Yet the competent authority and his cabinet continue to pat themselves on the back for a job well done.
Senators debated and passed the resolution to extend the state of emergency. 37-year-old Grand Bahamian Rivette Miller, also known as Rivette Darville, appeared before Magistrate Algeron Allen Jr. on Thursday as she was charged with defrauding 3S Bakery of over $100,000 while she was the office administrator. The fraud-related offenses allegedly took place from between 2018 and 2020. The defendant pleaded not guilty to 18 counts of stealing by reason of employment, 8 counts of falsification of accounts, and 3 counts of money laundering. According to the Crown, she defrauded 3S Bakery out of $107,376.04. The magistrate granted the defendant bail in the amount of $12,000. Conditions of her bail is that she has to surrender her travel document and sign into Lucaya Police Station in Grand Bahama every Wednesday. Miller's case has been adjourned until November 8th. Another 3 COVID-19 related deaths confirmed in the Bahamas over a 2-day period. Health officials on Tuesday, August 10th, confirmed the unfortunate deaths of 2 males of New Providence, a 65-year-old who died on August 10th and a 56-year-old who died on August 6th. Health officials also confirming on Wednesday, August 11th, the death of an 83-year-old female of New Providence, who also died on August 10th. These unfortunate deaths bring the country's death toll to 311. Now, between Tuesday, August 10th and Wednesday, August 11th, health officials confirmed a total of 226 new infections, 96 on Tuesday and 130 on Wednesday. 176 total new infections on New Providence, 15 on Grand Bahama, 11 on Exuma, 9 on Eleuthera, 7 on Andres, 5 on Abaco, and 1 case each on Bimini, Long Island, and San Salvador. 27 of the total confirmed cases between the 2 days have a history of travel within 14 days. Total cases in country now stand at 16,141. 2,640 are currently battling the virus. 146 of them in hospital, 15 more severe in intensive care, while 131 are considered moderately ill. On the flip side, 128 cases were reported recovered between the 2 days. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.